Good morning, evening, afternoon, folks. Welcome back to the Del Rivers Show. We're here again. I'm your host, Mark Elliott. To my right, we have the Muhammad Atta of comedy. We have the man whose comedy makes the My Lai massacre seem like a tiptoe through the tulips. He makes Al-Qaeda seem like the Teletubbies. Del Rivers.
Oh, great.
What are you doing today, Del?
I feel a little bit like Wi-Fi infected or something. I don't know. I just feel
Del's
flush.
Feet are acting up. He's flush.
Yeah.
He's pulling in Wi-Fi signals or something. He doesn't have his foil hat on today.
Yeah. Well, plus I had those helicopters going over my
Yeah, he said there were Black Ops
Black
helicopters going over his house today, so there's no telling.
Kind of scary.
what they were doing to him. And I would also like to mention support from our sponsors, Big UFO Noodles. Nothing says noodles like Big UFO.
It might be big in Japan.
The Nissan brand. Yeah, it's the Nissan brand noodles. Also, the folks from the Pontius Pilates workout video. It helps to tighten abs, strengthen legs, and wash your hands and seal your fate.
That's a good workout.
It's a good workout.
If you don't mind the whips and the beating.
It's a hell of a workout, folks. It's a hell of a workout, both physically and spiritually. Yeah, that's right. And I would also like to remark that some of our folks have been writing in and asking me, showing concern over me, saying, Mark, it seems that at times when Del is reading his jokes that you're slipping in and out of a coma. And, you know, that's just... that some of our fans have been saying, apparently. And don't worry, that's just my MO. Throughout the day, I occasionally do slip in and out of very, very minor comas, but not to fear.
Not narcolepsy or anything.
Not to fear. Business as usual. My health is fine. Okay, yep. So that out of the way. Should we move on to the secret beef?
Already?
Sure.
Yeah. What the heck?
Del says he has a dumb beef and a regular beef today.
All right.
So there are two secret beefs.
My beef. I'll give you the first one, which is kind of dumb, but. I can't stand those stupid white oval stickers that they have on the back of car and truck windows. That
white oval stickers.
You know, they have like the initials on it that shows that like someone's Irish. It'll say like IRA or something. You ever seen them? Or a college, St. John Fisher will be SFJ.
Oh yeah,
It's like come on, can't you just spell it out on the whole sticker? What's this white oval sticker supposed to be?
Yeah, no.
And the guy that invented white oval stickers is making money off of this stuff. Let's make these initials that don't make any sense and have people put it on their windows. That's stupid. I don't know.
That's the beef is white oval stickers?
Yeah, it was white. Well, it's better than Dove soap. That was the one.
Dove soap. Yeah, I didn't care for your Dove soap beef.
But my one beef that I had the other week.
I forgot about that Dove soap.
The one beef I had was true. Remember Mike Love's finger from the Beach Boys? His big finger that looks like a penis at the end of his hand? He's like, he kicked out the Beach Boys, so that's...
They kicked him off the Beach Boys because of his big penis finger?
No, he kicked the other guys out because he's a dick, practically.
Because he's a dick. Okay, I didn't understand the circuitous.
You had to be a Beach Boys fan, I guess.
Well, his penis-like fingers because he's a dick. Is that
right? Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's you wrapped that up in a nice tight package for me. Okay. Was that the dumb beef or the regular beef? Well, I can't tell.
The other beef is
to help me out.
This is the real beef. The other one was like pork.
Okay.
It was the white oval beef.
Okay. All right. This is the real beef.
The real thing is they got these new commercials. Bragging about cell towers, like they said, we have 475,000 cell phone towers and growing. Yeah. It's just kind of like the factories bragging about how many, smokestacks they have in the factory.
Del has a big beef with the cell towers because he's very sensitive to Wi-Fi signals and the electromagnetic signals. And he does think that some of his health problems are related to that. And it is not a joke. There are people who do fall into this category.
You get
and
4G
radio signals. It's still questionable what effect radio signals could possibly have on people's health.
Right, exactly. You know,
like,
I mean, you can have your 4G, but it's frying my feet at the same time.
And, you know, there are people who live beneath high tension wires, and they report higher incidences of cancer and things like that. And it's a big
it's messed up.
It is. It's a difficult issue.
All right, what are we moving on to now?
I think we're going to take a little commercial break right now, and then we'll be back more with Del Rivers.
All right. Hang on, it's gonna be a bumpy ride.
Coming soon to a theater near you, a cinematic experience more horrifying than The View. Del Rivers stars in Whatever Happened to Baby Del.
I've written a letter to Daddy. His address is heaven above. I've written, dear Daddy, we miss you. I wish you were with us to love.
Whatever Happened to Baby Del, opening soon at all Joe Morris and Jerry Lewis cinemas.
All right, folks, we're back. Del Rivers Show once again. And let's see, I guess now we will move on to the portion of the show I like to call Mystery Del. I always forget he throws in that pseudo-theremin.
Or you could hear the bell. There it goes.
This is the part of the show where Del tells me something that I do not know about him. Hence the mystery.
All right. Well, speaking of bells and whistles and stuff like that, I don't know if you knew or not, but I stopped using watches and alarm clocks probably like 1986 or so.
I did not know that.
Never use it. I wake up on my own.
That's before I even met you?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we lived together briefly in 89.
So just...
No way, it was 90.
Yeah.
It was January of 90, and... You mean the whole time that you were waking up at 6 in the morning and cursing at your hair and your life in the mirror, that was no alarm clocks?
You know, that might have been just the borderline, you know, where I was still using alarm clocks, but I gave them up after a while.
So now you wake up for work, you have no alarm clock, just...
On time, wake up, you know.
Wow.
Never use watches, never use alarm clocks.
Very interesting.
Is it a mystery beef?
Mystery Del.
Yeah. I mean, have you heard of other people that do that? Or I'm sure there's others.
Yeah, you know, it's the strange thing about alarm clocks is that I find that when I'm on a regular schedule, I'll set the alarm and I'll wake up 5 minutes before it goes off.
Yeah.
A lot.
That's true. Some people do that.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was going to say...
But it's not always reliable. If I don't set it, then I'll...
I think a lot of people don't even use watches anymore because they got their handheld devices that have a clock right on there.
I haven't had a watch in 20 years.
You know, watches are antiques. They're going to be like
antiques.
They are
kind of antiques, yeah. There's something about watches. People just like them. They like to wear them, and it's like a status symbol, but you don't...
Yeah, if you have like a...
Who needs a watch?
Rolex or a Timex or something.
There's times and clocks everywhere.
Yeah, that's true.
Del came over earlier and we're chatting about some crap, and he works for some weird company that I don't really know. They distribute some odd pharmaceutical type products.
Well, yeah, naturals.
Yeah, so he said that they have something, it's some sexual potency thing with he said it's got a picture of Chairman Mao on it. And I started laughing. I said, Chairman Mao? He goes, well, it's either Chairman Mao or Chiang Kai-shek. I said, you can't tell the difference between Chairman Mao and Chiang Kai-shek.
I didn't take a good look.
He said it's called China Brush.
Yeah, that's the technical name.
China Brush.
I don't even know if it's a pill or what it is.
I said, why do they have a picture of Chairman Mao on it? And he said, it's supposed to make you a strong leader or something. So I asked him if he could bring some in. He said it's very expensive. Yeah, so he's going to try and find the graphics and be able to copy the graphics and bring them in somehow. It sounds highly dubious, but hilarious, you know. Great hilarity.
Oh, yeah.
Now here's the part of the show where we're going to go call it the Ask Del portion of the show. It's kind of a memory lane thing.
Did you have something?
I'm attempting to get that.
We ran out. I thought we ran out of the questions. You might actually have something.
Well, I was going to ask you. You haven't mentioned it, but obviously nobody has written in with any questions for you. We've been.
It's like the commercial, the world's most interesting man.
We've been begging our audience to write in questions for Del. There's nothing but a vast silence from the broadcasting abyss.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So, I once a week I talk to our old roommate Jason Brown, a roommate from 25 years ago, who always comes up with some kind of non sequitur questions for Del. One of his questions this week was ask Del if he has spoken to Betty or Barney Hill lately.
Oh.
Now,
I'd let you say that.
A little inside joke if you do the Google, kids. Betty and Barney Hill were apparently one of the earliest people who claimed UFO abduction and possible tampering with.
Yeah, one of the most legitimate cases, I might add.
According to Del, the most legitimate.
Which is a funny thing that he asked that, because I did go to a MUFON meeting, or what do you call it? It's a consortium or whatever, downtown here in Rochester. Maybe about 10 years ago, 5 years ago, something like
whatever
that.
you call it, a crackpot cult gathering.
That's what you Del.
That's what I got. Del calls it a consortium.
But Betty Hill was there. She was actually there doing her speech. And unfortunately, she passed away, the last couple of years.
A consortium of intellectual rigor.
Oh, yeah.
Coming together.
Right. I'd be surprised there's people there that were more scientific than there were, crackpot type people.
Right. Well, I'm sure a lot of people are trying to get to the bottom of the whole UFO thing.
Yeah.
I don't waste a lot of time thinking about it, but,
Yeah, you really can't do nothing about it.
Makes the world go around, right?
Yeah.
And then he also asked if you had any opinions on the alluvial fans found on Mars.
The alluvial what?
Fans, as he referred to them. These patterns of...
I'm not sure exactly what he's talking
about.
Well,
they say that it indicates at one time an existence of water on Mars.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, there was water on Mars. It was obvious. I mean, you can tell by the patterns just by looking at it. How well, only two or three things can cause certain patterns: air, water, and chemical, in the soil or whatever.
Right.
And it looks so obvious to be water.
You don't think that the powers of telepathy could move soil?
No, only bulldozers and stuff like that. I thought he was. At first, I was thinking there's these little tunnel things.
Bulldozers, there are some theories that there was once a caterpillar factory on Mars.
On Mars,
yeah.
But there is these things that look like tunnels, artificial tunnels, because they have braces. I'd have to show you pictures of it.
Okay, well, we'll have.
But it looks too unnatural to be.
We'll have to save that for our 2-hour Von Daniken episode.
Oh yeah,
of the Del Rivers show.
I'll be into that.
Okay. You got any more jokes and gags?
Well, I got the news and I got my
okay. The news with Del. Yeah.
Okay. News items. I don't have too many, but we'll go through them here.
Okay.
Andy Williams sadly passed away.
Oh, that's right.
And so did the respect of national television for lacking any sort of broadcast tribute. That passed away too.
Oddly enough, I didn't see any mention of his passing in the American news media, but it was all over the BBC.
Yeah.
Not that I'm an Andy Williams fan, but the guy was huge.
Yeah, he was big on television.
He's massive.
And just nothing on TV. Nothing.
Very strange.
Just totally forgotten. A monster-sized alligator was caught in Mississippi. Unfortunately, there are no laws about catching already extinct dinosaurs. That was kind of a bluefin. Here's a follow-up. Okay. A bluefin tuna worth thousands of dollars, however, was sadly thrown back in because of laws. Sorry, Charlie. A Buddha statue carved from a meteorite was recently discovered.
That was interesting.
Proving once again that the religious leader came from outer space.
Ah.
We're just talking about that.
Little L. Ron Hubbard reference
here.
Yeah. All right.
Brian Wilson Wilson and the two other Beach Boys were kicked out of the group by Mike Love, which he just talked about, because they kept getting in the way of his pointy finger on stage.
His big pointy penis shaped.
And Brian was replaced by two stationary beach balls. A new search has begun for Jimmy Hoffa. Did you hear about that, Jimmy Hoffa?
That's right. They're still looking for old Jimmy. Yeah.
So finally, Major League Baseball will be exonerated since charged with the burial at Dodgers Stadium.
Well, it was funny. I read that they were doing a lot of digging, looking for Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, under home plate or something.
They didn't find him, but you know what they did find?
What'd they find?
A few things. They found Al Capone's treasure.
Okay.
And the rest of Mitt Romney's tax returns.
Nice.
I don't know what they were doing in the same place.
And also Obama's birth certificate, right? That was the same file.
I forgot that was the third one that was in the pile. Obama's birth certificate.
Let's be nonpartisan.
Yeah, that's they're trying. Thank you very much for not allowing me my partisanship. That's right. And it's still a mystery as how those items. Yeah.
A new element, number 113 or 14, was added to the periodic table. Damn, now we all have to go back and take science courses all over again. Shucks. Christie's plans to auction props from James Bond movies. I'm going to bid on the Blofeld's cat or something from Octopussy. I'll tell you that much.
Gonna bid on the Octopussy?
Blofeld's cat. You know, the cat that he...
Taxidermied?
Yeah, probably taxidermied. The last one, the referee lockout finally ends for the NFL, for you football fans. Next will be the NFL cheerleaders lockout as they fill in with non-pro cheerleaders continue to sexually harass football players on the field. It's not high school, it's NFL, national football. Stop harassing the football players, you cheerleaders. And that's it for that part.
That's it? That's the news for this week?
For that, yeah. If you want me to do one more thing.
What do you got?
Oh, my sign of... There's no numbers on here.
All right.
But these are things that I learned. You were talking about...
hiding it from me. I'm not allowed to...
It's the political season.
Okay,
so I had to, these are political shock words, so don't get too shocked.
Okay, political
You'll always
shock
see
words.
Scandal, sexual charges. You say sexual innuendo or some sexual thing. More jobs, less taxes. It's like every politician has the more jobs,
true.
less taxes.
It's just these same bullshit buzzwords all the time.
Yeah, the same buzzwords. Impeachable, usually they want to get rid of the president, of course. Dirty campaign, corruption, or they mention the plan or change.
They always mention the plan, but they fail to elucidate the plan.
The only thing they don't mention...
I have a plan. Really, what is the plan, actually? You never play with the plan.
Exactly. They don't mention common sense intelligence. No. There's no mention of that in all the political campaigns.
Yeah. Those are
close up.
Yeah, common sense and intelligence would be your hot button topic.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There you see.
Yeah, Dell likes you to be able to read them.
That's why I throw that on my website or Facebook or something. It doesn't show up half the time, but it looks good.
Okay, folks, time is running on. We got to wrap it up for this week. Stick with us, and we'll see you next time on the Del Rivers Show. Bye-bye.